You know, I saw though on ESPN.
Yep.
I saw them talking about what was bigger, LeBron's thing or LeBron breaking whatever.
Well, with PK was on there.
Yeah,
right?
LeBron breaking Kareem's record or Obi beating Gretzky's record. And what's his face? Shannon Sharp, obviously the biggest LeBron James Glazer, was like, no, I think it's LeBron has a better thing because longevity and all this shit or something like that. Or he said, what did he say? He said something about how.
Yeah, I saw that.
I think he was talking about longevity. I'm pretty sure, which is why it was impressive. But Ovechkin's longevity is just impressive.
And he actually plays all of them.
Same time period.
And one of the biggest things is LeBron, when he came to the league, I think the scoring was like 90 something average points per game per team, and it went up to like 113 this year, right, over the 20 years he's been in the league. When Ovechkin comes into the league, I think it was like above 3.0 goals per game per team, and it went under to like 2.5 for the longest time. So he's obviously at a disadvantage. And when you look at Gretzky's numbers, it was like 4 points per game for the longest time.
I was gonna say, let's not forget, Ovechkin did it with full lockout season, a COVID season, and half a year gone too, right? So he could have gone this way.
Don't forget this year, he fucking broke his leg and came back.
Exactly.
And he still did it.
Imagine if he was on the same pace that he was on this early season, he probably would have been 50 goals. He would have won the Rocket. He might have won the Rocket, honestly.
Definitely.
And he could have he could easily hit above to a 900 goals this season.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Oh, yeah.
He would 100%.
I like how Ov handled it. Ov gave a shout to he gave a shout to everybody. But LeBron, when he gave his speech, he's like, "Nah, I did all the work. It was all me."
And speaking on that point, they were talking about how both of them had like the complete opposite celebrations. Where Ovechkin went to he did the little like swan dive, whatever. And then the team came up and everything, and everybody hugged around him. Where LeBron just kind of he shot it, started walking backwards. Nobody kind of rushed to him anyway, so it kind of shows you the two leaderships.
Yeah.
And how much respect.
I think it's just the two sports, right? Basketball is more individual, and hockey's all about the team.
Yeah.
At the end of the day,
basketball is always about me.
It's always about me.
That's why there's no personality.
But that's just like the culture,
exactly.
and especially with LeBron. Come on, guys. LeBron, it's like the Lakers, and then LeBron's his own separate team.
Yeah, exactly. Right? Two different fan bases. Right. Once LeBron leaves, those LeBron fans are leaving the Laker fans. What
you described, it did not surprise me at all. That's how LeBron usually reacts to when he does something.
But I think no matter who it would have been in the NBA, like anybody else could have broken that record. It would have been about them and not the team. It would have been 100%. Right? It's always been like that. Like nobody cares. Kobe, MJ, it's all about them. Shaq, it's all about him. It doesn't matter who it is in the NBA.
That was the other thing, because like people were talking about how Wayne Gretzky, like he did give credit to Ovechkin for breaking the record, right?
Yeah.
He's like, I want him to break the record. Well, on TNT on the other, like his TNT counterpart, Shaq over there was like, Jokic sucks.
Yeah.
Jokic ain't shit. Yeah. Jokic ain't ever gonna be shit. Like
even Kareem in the past has been pretty salty too. He talks a lot of shit. And then even with LeBron, they're saying like, kind of like sneak dissing. Yeah. And people still sneak diss with LeBron, right? As you can attest, like he's not the greatest scorer of all time. Like, this guy does all around, and he has the most points in NBA history. Like, how are you downplaying this?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right? But people will find a way, because I think it's just like you're saying, the individual nature of basketball versus hockey.
But yeah, that's what I just want to talk about, because like you could like hockey. That's why one thing I like about hockey. It's never about like they do bring up the past a lot. But they do up the players from now, the current generation. Yeah. They don't shit on the current generation. Like, you really see a player come on and say, "Oh, McDavid's trash. If he was playing in Aria, he wouldn't be able to make it."
You might not see that as much. It's more of a character attack. Like these kids aren't the same like we were when we were kids. We were going wild and partying and stuff like that. Where now it's like these are more focused on, and they're also most focused on their hockey career. Right? They're more focused on being like the best athlete they can be, which is like it's kind of how the world's gone too.
A lot of people want to be the best, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, it's just like the added professional element. Look how much money is going more and more into professional sports. It just keeps going up. Yeah. And as a result, you're gonna have people who are gonna care more. Like in the 60s, 70s, sure, you guys weren't making like that. Of course, you can do that.
Especially on that point, now you have players that like, okay, if you're not performing, you're not gonna get a contract, right?
Yeah.
Where it's like, okay, you have like bums, like you have like typical back in the day, like fourth liners would be just grinders, fighters. You don't have that anymore, right?
Yeah.
Nope.
So there's limited.
You gotta ball out to show out, right? You can't be just like, oh, I'm just gonna like all I'm gonna do is fight and hit, and I'm gonna make the team. Nah, you gotta show some skill a little bit now. Yeah, you gotta show a little bit more. You gotta show that grit, and you can show that you have that skill. It's more of a skill league than a physical league, in my opinion. Now.
In terms of the two records, the old records, Kareem and Gretzky's scoring records, I thought it's a coin flip in terms of which was more difficult. But I never thought that Gretzky's goal record, Gretzky's point record, some of these records of Gretzky's would ever get touched.
Yeah,
right. So like, I never heard about that. But Kareem, growing up, maybe a little bit, but not to the same extent. Like for hockey, it was like, oh, here's Gretzky, then everyone else is going to be here.
Exactly.
Right? He's got like 800 whatever more points than the next person. So I never thought this was going to happen. It just happened.
Yeah.
within 20 years, 20 years
and
of
I
a
don't
lifetime.
think anybody thought it would have happened like maybe 4 or 5 years ago.
Right.
They weren't sure it was going to happen still. Because who knows when OV would have, his career would have went downhill. You never know. It doesn't happen. Hockey players, you don't last that long either. Especially your productivity levels. They're not seeing that high. Big word.
For sure. That's a great point, Sertaj. I think if you take a look at Ovechkin, you got to commend him for like his consistency, because remember that 1 or 2 year period, the Dale Hunter period, I think he had 65 points 1 year,
like 32 goals,
32 goals, right? And then at that point it was like a crossroads, right? Like, how's Ovechkin gonna go? And then he follows it up like 4 or 5 years after the fact, winning like the Rocket Richard 5 straight years, right?
Didn't he win the Rocket in 2013, the year after Dale Hunter got fired or something like that?
Yeah.
Or he started ripping it up, and then the next few years he just like started killing it. He was back to being Ovi.
Yeah, like he resurrected himself somehow, and then just. Before that, no one was saying he was going to break Gretzky's record, and then he just took it upon himself to do it.
I'm going to break it.
Like LeBron breaking the points record, LeBron's like a freak of nature. He never gets hurt.
Exactly.
Yeah. Right?
Never had a major injury. That's the biggest thing about basketball players. Major injuries used to end a lot of these guys' careers, right? At some point, it just like you just get hurt once and it just keeps piling up. LeBron James never had that issue.
The Gretzky goal record, like Gretzky scored 92 goals in 1 year, right? Like he was really cheesing. Yeah. Right? Like stat padding to the max, especially in the 80s with Edmonton.
Goal was like 4 goals per game.
So the fact that you have someone in like the post Dead Park era and the era that you described earlier, Sertaj, consistently putting up 50 every year. I mean, that's something that it's still not making any sense. What he's doing this year isn't making any sense.
Exactly. Gretzky's last year, he scored 9 goals.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
9 goals.
7. I thought it was 7.
9. I think it was 9, right?
Same thing.
Same thing.
Different. Same, but different. But still same.
Less than 10, right?
Yeah. There you go.
So you have.
But he was always a playmaker, Jyoti.
So then you have like guys like to go on like the same like LeBron kind of esque, where it's like Ovechkin didn't miss any time. He barely missed any time, right? I think it was like his biggest like injury was this season with the league, and he still comes back and breaks and still has 42 goals. He can still get like 5 more easily to get to 900.
And he's got a dad bod. That's the best part.
That's right. Yeah,
exactly.
Still killing it.
The one thing on the Gretzky and Ovechkin front is, some Gretzky fans or older fans were like saying, "Oh, Gretzky's the greatest goal scorer of all time." Which makes no sense, because like when they talk about Gretzky, or they used to talk about in the past, they used to say, "Oh, Gretzky's office is behind the net. He's his playmaker." Like we're saying, like 9 goals, 60 assists, whatever he had. But now all of a sudden, Ovechkin breaks the record, and now Gretzky, his slapper, the slapper when
so you know what's
the playoff record. Goalies couldn't tell us it was going left corner, right corner. They couldn't tell.
The goalie just stuck with the pad and just went in. Yeah, and now he's great. Now he's better goal scorer.
Went in.
Yeah.
You know what the other thing that pissed me off about the older generation is they always talk about how they always start bringing up other stats. Oh, what about his playoff? What about Gretzky's playoff goals? Huh? You know how many goals? Like, when did we all of a sudden start counting playoff goals as the limit? I thought it was always regular season goals.
It was
is the best goal scorer.
Yeah.
And it is, and it probably will be forever. That's why I hate, like, why are we making a new argument to push the goalpost further? Let it be, all right? Ovechkin did something incredible, and you're just going to hate on it and be salty?
Enjoy greatness, that's it.
Yeah, you got to enjoy greatness when it happens.
But, haters are going to find a way to hate. Yeah. And that population is like that classic population that's always hated on, like, the Russian minority players in general. They can't do anything right. And, like you're saying, Zach, how are you going to move the goalpost after the fact?
Yeah.
I think what's next for him, though, is like 900 goals. Obviously, that's going to happen. Maybe probably next year.
You think maybe this year? You think
he has 4 more games after the season, unless he goes on tear. But he could go on tear. So Ovechkin,
exactly.
Once he gets hot, he starts scoring a lot of goals.
I think the opposite's gonna happen, boys. I think it's over. It's done. They're packing up. 1, 2, 3, Cancun.
1, 2, 3, Cancun.
Here we go, boys.
Okay, so 900 this year or maybe next. What do you think, SB? You think 1,000's in the horizon?
He has one more year left on his contract. The only issue is he said he's going to go back to the KHL after this contract right now. So if unless he has like 100 goal season next year, pull the Gretzky out of his ass, I don't think this happens. Or if he goes 1 more year and he's like, I'll go for it. If I get 50 goals next year, sign 1 more contract.
I think he should play it out how he does next year. Say next year he scores only 20 goals. I think he should be like, all right, this is not for me. I'm done. But if he scores like 40, 50... Hey, let's run it back.
Right there.
Let's run it back. Might as well run it back.
Because I think his whole thing was, I want to go back to Russia at the level I'm playing at now, just being good no matter what. But I feel like if he goes back to Russia, he's still going to be Ovechkin. You're still going to be the best player there, probably. To be honest.
1,000 goals is 1,000 goals, right?
That's different.
Nobody scored 900 goals, but 1,000 goals is just unreal.
Yeah, no one's gonna be speaking of that, do you think anybody will break Ovechkin's record when Ovechkin is Oh, retired.
Well, they're already talking about Austin Matthews.
I don't think Austin
Glacius ain't doing shit. Right?
Nice. Damn, just you name it. That's a good name.
That's a good nickname. Yeah.
Make that a shirt. Put that on a shirt.
Glacius.
But I think Matthews, if he was consistently doing what he was doing last year, Glacius, sorry, if he was doing the same thing he did last year when he had 69 goals, if he was doing that every year, it would make sense. But I feel like he goes down to 30 goals every other year, something like 30 or 40 goals.
It'd always be like 30 massive, and then 30
Yeah,
massive.
he needs to be consistent, like 50. I think he has to get like
it's like every other second year is a Dale Hunter year for him.
He's also already having a lot of injury problems too, right? So like this guy's body's already failing him.
Problems just because his AirPods aren't working out, man. Right?
The only benefit he has is the scoring era that he's in. The scoring's gone up so much, and maybe if he plays 20 years and like everyone's just putting up numbers and he'll get like average like 40, 45 goals a year. But he's nowhere near the goal scorer, the same level of tenacity, the level of drive to score. Like I've never just seen that from Matthews, like what you see from
he's never scored a beauty like him. He's never scored anything like how he scored good nice goals like snipes and stuff like that.
We talked about this as we started to cut you off. His best goal was his rookie game. The goal he scored against Erik Karlsson. And that's a really good TC for Ovechkin.
His best moment is scoring 4 goals.
4 goals in his rookie debut. Yeah.
And then
Mario Lemieux's like, shit, I scored 5, baby.
I did 5 different ways too. I didn't do it at the same time. Same different thing. But I think that. But that's just. I think the Toronto media just pushing that shit on that. Because they talk about. They always bring up like, through this many games, Austin Matthews has this goals, and Ovechkin had this many goals. Yeah. But I think Ovechkin, like I think they count the Dale Hunter years, and that was kind of some dark years. There's
no context given to the Dale Hunter years. They're forgetting about it. They were shitting on him during the Dale Hunter years, and now they're acting like it didn't exist at all. Come on, do your job.
Yeah, he got. That's like, imagine where you'd be if Dale Hunter wasn't the coach,
or the COVID season, or the lockout.
The 2 lockouts.
Right.
He would already. I think he would be hitting 1,000. Right
100%.
Probably would have.
He
probably would have gave us at least like a couple more 65 goal seasons.
Yeah,
100%. If you had a better team, definitely.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
What do you mean, Nicholas Backstrom's not good enough, bro? Come on, you carried him all the way here.
Mike Green.
No.
Carl Osner, come on.
The great, suppose it's past greatest goal scorer in NHL history had Mark Messier, Yari Curry, Paul Coffey, Grant Fuhrer, Glenn Anderson, and every other Hall of Famer that lives off those coattails.
Brett Hall, Luc Robitaille.
That was after the fact. I'm talking about his prime when he was scoring 92 goals a year. Ovechkin's got 2-3 years of Alex Semin, then he went to Carolina. And then
Mike Green,
TJ Oshie, like these guys are good players, but they're not fucking what Gretzky had.
No.
Or even what like Matthew has now. Like
even Crosby.
Yeah,
even Crosby. So
now Crosby just steals Malkin's line mates.
That's like the biggest benefit. Like, you got Malkin out there. He's a guarantee.
Malkin develops him. He takes him.
AHL second line.
Yeah, exactly. But I have a problem with the whole ceremony thing. Why did Gretzky get a longer speech than fucking?
I didn't like that either.
I didn't get a chance to take a look at it.
I was watching him score the goal, and then Gary Bettman gets a mic. He does his little spiel, and then they give the mic to Wayne Gretzky, and Wayne Gretzky starts talking about himself. So I'm glad we're on the fucking Nassau Coliseum because I had bad memories there. All this shit, he starts making about himself, and I'm like, dude, just pass the fucking puck to Ovi so he can talk. Because Ovi, Ovi for a fact he's not going to give a long speech.
Yeah.
So Gretzky's like over here, like,
in the arena, he's talking about Nassau Coliseum. Do these fans even know what Nassau Coliseum is?
Nobody knows. Ovi's the only reason why these fans are even in this building.
Right.
To be honest.
Yeah.
Right. So then basically he's giving his whole speech about his career, about how Gordie Howe, giving a speech about Gordie Howe, and I'm like, why? Way to make it about yourself, man. This is about Ovi. And then, which I like, because Ovi made it about everybody else.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. He made it about his teammates. He made it about
family.
He made it about coaching. He gave a shout out to Backstrom and
Oshie.
Oshie, especially Backstrom, because he's like, me and Backstrom came up together.
Yeah.
And it was Ovi, but Wayne Gretzky over here, Wayne Gretzky and his wife are just making it about themselves somehow. Like, what the fuck's going on here?
My kids are the same age as your kids. Like, dude, shut up.
Really? Move on. Wow. It should have been a quick and simple, like, it's impressed that you beat my record. Now somebody's gonna beat your record, something like that. It should have been quick and fast.
It's not your moment, right? Yeah. It's Ovechkin's moment.
That's the problem with the general population just glazing Gretzky all the time. Like, he's the only figure in hockey. Yeah. He's just like this. Even
Messiah.
like the casual person in the States knows who Gretzky is, and he's now effectively walking around like it is. Sounds like.
Yeah. It kind of annoyed me because it's like, it's not your moment, man. It's like your moment. What your moment was back then. Like, you could give us, you could give a speech back then, right? But you don't have to take Ovi's moment. Like, he beat your record. Now it's about Ovi. He's a man, right? So why are you taking his moment away from him and making it about yourself for some reason? Like, I get the negativity is right on you, right? But this isn't help right now because you're just making it about yourself again. Like, what the fuck, man? It pissed me off because I was like, I want to hear Ovi speak, right? I want to hear what the fuck he has to say. I don't want to hear what Wayne Gretzky has to say. I don't need to hear about this bum ass motherfucker.
Some people kept talking about how Gretzky showed up to watch Ovechkin score the the record-breaking goal. But I'm like, of course he should show up, man. This guy's like 6 years old. What else does he have to do other than go on TNT every other week? You know?
Yeah, right. Yeah, if he's not showing up, yeah.
I'll take those tickets in a second. I don't want to see myself.
So you're saying he's getting glazed unnecessarily?
Yeah,
a little for just doing what anyone would do.
That's expected of him too, right? Like you're supposed to be there if you're the great one and you're the guys whose record's getting broken, right?
Especially he's still benefiting from the NHL. He's on TNT. He's getting his money. He climbed the Coyotes and did everything else after he retired. I think Razak, just spitballing here, but. Him Gretzky doing that, taking the shine from Ovi, isn't that classic like old boys club that hockey is, like the old
100%
respect the history, Gordie Howe and this whole old Canadian type of shit, that type of attitude. Like I don't want to give the Russian this much glory.
He glazed himself a lot and he glazed Gordie Howe a lot.
Of course.
At the same time, what are you doing, man? Like ain't nobody give a shit, but nobody remembers Gordie Howe scoring any of those goals. It's long past that generation. Yeah. But some people may remember you scoring those goals, right? But like a lot of people don't. A lot of people that probably watch hockey now probably remember more about what's going on currently, like Ovi in the last 20 years, his 20 seasons,
20 years,
and like exactly, like, why are you making it about yourself in the past when you can just make it about now? We should the game should be always about what we can do for the next generation, not about what happened back in the fucking day. Like nobody gives a shit about what happened back in the day. We should be trying to make the game better, and that's not what Gretzky was doing. Gretzky was like, remember me? I was the shit back then. So they ain't fucking with me.
Did be a great one for a reason.
Did they at least compliment? Sorry, did he at least compliment Ovechkin? Like, you're the all-time great. You're the greatest of all time.
But like, he's still like,
there's actually gonna go full on hate.
I hate you. I don't even know you, and I hate your guts. I hope.
And act like Gretzky was like just there.
Gretzky for the most part, even when he was playing and after he retired, he's always pretty supportive of players.
He is, yeah.
Don't say the most
supportive. The only issue is he's just talking so much longer than everybody else. You're sitting there. It's like a 10-minute. It's like a 10-minute thing going on with the microphones, and he's probably taking up 8 minutes himself.
Yeah,
he made it so much longer than it should have been, and like he could have cut it down a bit.
Because all he had to do was give a congratulations to Ovechkin. Could have maybe give a little thing about the past, and that's it. That's all you had to do is move on. Right. Like, just like when he started it, he's like, glad we're not back at the net. So I'm like, this motherfucker, man. He's Mick
Foley, man. He knows how to get a pop on the ground. They're pumped. Other fans were so excited. Like, he mentioned Nassau Coliseum. We kicked his ass. That's what they wanted.